I think we wait for a few minutes for
Okay.
everyone to be here.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, if you can please put in the chat your full name and the name of your institution, the name of the course you will teach, and the community partner.
And because we have a few on our side that has yet to join. Yeah.
Okay. And also, if you can, on the screen, I think this works like Zoom as well. That if you can change the name on your screen, so I know how to best address you or refer to you, and also your pronouns. So I think a
Okay, I think we can start, Amy, because some of our lecturers on our side, they are having a meeting.
okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So
Okay.
whatever they miss, they can go through the videos, the
Okay.
recording. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we will go ahead and get started.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Welcome everyone. My name is Amy Kuo Somchamabong. I work at Cornell University and have been asked to join you on a gathering, supposedly to be a physical gathering, but unfortunately I contracted COVID from as after leading a trip in a global community service learning trip in Vietnam. Come into Thailand and have COVID and prevented me from traveling to Malaysia to join you today. So I sincerely apologize for not being able to be with you. I'd rather be doing this in person, but we are doing it in virtual setting. So with that in mind, I hope that you will continue to engage with me and Daniel and Su Ping and other facilitators today for us to come together to learn and unpack what exactly is community service learning and how is that applicable to your upcoming teaching and research if it's applicable to you and go from there. So Daniel, can you go to the next slide?
Okay.
And so if you haven't had a chance, if you don't mind, if you're in chat, please share your full name, the name of your institution, the course you'll be teaching, and your community partner. And also on the screen, if you can change your name on the screen that you would like us to address you or refer you, and your pronouns, will be very helpful. If you don't know how to do that, I'm gonna leave it up to Daniel to provide some technical assistance. I am not as familiar with Google Meet as I am with Zoom. But as you all know, we're doing COVID, all of us, we're being on the virtual space. And so Daniel, I don't know if everyone will have a ability to make changes on the screen or,
No, I don't think so.
oh no,
No.
no. So it's not as, okay. All right. So in that case, any question before we move on? I will, as we go through today, I will share a little bit more about myself as well, and also the goals for today. Should I move on, Daniel?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So one thing, and for in a virtual setting, and unfortunately, I can't really see all of you and what you're thinking and how are you reacting. But if you do have a question, if you have anything jumps out at you that you want to ask, please feel free to use the chat function. Daniel and I will take a look at it and make sure to respond to you on a timely fashion, or definitely making sure to get back to you. So please don't be reserved, and just go ahead and put it on the chat. So the goals for today's session is also, the hope is kind of develop some familiarity with one another, and also for you to get to know me, and me to get to know you, and why I'm invited to be in this space with you to talk about community service learning, or in my university at Cornell University in the United States, we actually refer to as community engaged learning. Which is, we now have a tagline, as some of you might know, is Engage Cornell. So what it is like really connecting the university with our local community and also with the global communities. So that's another goal is to generate and curate based on your own understanding of community service learning. I come into the space with the knowing that you all already have some understanding. You already know this. You probably already doing community service learning or community engaged learning work, but just not realizing how it's been structured and discussed within the field of community service learning or service learning or community engaged learning. And our hope is today, it's the most important part, is to work together with you to co-develop a potential series of a virtual session around community service learning that will support your upcoming teaching and learning. And if you're also using research methodology or public research as part of the community engaged learning projects, or wanted to be this to be part of your own research agenda, and so that what are some of the topics and discussions that you would like to have throughout this series. So we really want to engage you, encourage you to have that conversation together with us. So we had developed a set of activities with you. And also just cope with that topics is also co-develop a timeline of these sessions with you so that it is supportive and it is making sense to you and it's actually helpful rather than us telling you how to go about doing so. Because in my belief, there is no one way of doing it. There's a multiple ways of approaching and understanding and learning and doing this type of work. So those are the goals that we have set for today. I was wondering if anyone has any questions or concerns or suggestions before we move on. And if you can give me a sense of a yes or a no to the screens, or if you can put it on the chat, or if there's some sort of emoji that Google Meets allow you to do so, that would be very helpful. Thank you, Cairo Lisa. I apologize, I'm not saying correctly. Oh, thank you. So I just had Carolisa responded, just waiting on to hear others before we move forward. Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, Helena. Thank you, Khadija. Thank you, Angela. And thank you, Po Yu. Is that right? And Tail, is that Josephine? Okay, great. Thank you. And New Thing. Okay, great. So in that case, I think I captured everyone. So far, so good for today's goals. And we'll come back to it to make sure that we actually meet that goal together. So going approach, and so the way how we have designed the session is that we want to honor that and recognize and truly believe that everyone in this Zoom room, this virtual space that you all have your own understanding of what community service learning is and what the experiences should be or like to be or could be or would have been, that you all have experienced something like that. And we wanted to go through that process, unpacking that together today. And I also approached the session with that all of you bring in valuable perspectives. All of you have done a lot of teaching and also have done a lot of learning on your own as well. And so you have already formulated your own perspective and the experience that we can all learn from each other and with one another. And there's no perfect recipe for community service learning. I'm not going to come here like, this is how you should do it. This is the only way to do it. And believe me, that is not the case. I have been doing this for 10 plus years. I still don't know what that is. I am coming from just coming back from a community-based research project with students and with our university partners and also with our NGO. I'm still unpacking the experience that I just gone through. So thinking through what is the right way of doing so. So I really believe, I think that if there's a multiple, if people would like to see it, that we have multiple recipes, we have multiple ways of doing community service learning. And again, emphasizing there are different methods and there's different process and structure in community service learning, and which is all relies upon your own experiences, your own knowledge, and your own way of doing to bring it to this conversation. And you all have questions to, you have answers to your questions, and it's a matter of just us affirming each other and be supportive of one another about the questions. So that's the approach I'm coming to you. I hope that's okay. That it is the way I believe that we all can contribute. Every single person in this room brings in multiple ways of knowing and doing and being together. So, okay, so next slide, you know. And this is my way of facilitating, which I also kind of my teaching. I don't call it teaching, I call it facilitating. I find myself more as a facilitator or a convener of knowledge production process. And knowledge just kind of goes and it aligns with what I just mentioned, my approach to the session. I see myself as a lifelong learner. I'm constantly learning and unlearning and relearning, particularly coming from a Western education. I grew up in the United States. I went through the educational system in the United States, and finding that there are a lot of things that I have to relearn and also unlearn through the colonial history that we have lived through and the colonial educational system that I was part of. So I am continuing to unlearning, unpacking through that process. And for today, I will really appreciate, because I am interpersonal, and even though we're in Zoom, and that I appreciate what everyone will engage with me in conversation with me. So I really heavily emphasize using the chat. Or there is, I wish there's an emoji functions that if I can see it's a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or other ways that if you have creative ways to show me that we are engaging with one another, because a lot of this work it's based on relationship, and it's the relationality that we bring one another would be it's very important. Okay, so somebody has raised a hand, Dorina. Dorina, you want to go ahead? You have a question?
No, no, because I was trying. You were mentioning about some emojis, so I thought that was saying something.
Oh, fantastic, Dorina! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's fantastic. Um, yeah. So we gotta find emoji function somewhere. And I will also my way of facilitating is that again we all bring in a different set of knowledge system and knowledge construction knowledge production process. So I want to open up space for all of us to dialogue and with one another, and so that it opens up space for learning. And I honor everyone's knowledge and experience, and so I'm here to learn together with you. I don't have all the answers, and except bringing my own personal experience through this field of community engagement and community service learning with me to this space. And again, I believe in multiple ways of doing this. And also, I make mistakes. So please correct me, and please don't let me get away, and or don't brush it off. It's like, oh no, she mispronounced my name. Please tell me right away that this is how it should be done. So I hope that's all right with all of you, and that's how I'm entering into this space. All right, so a little bit about myself. I come in, I am actually someone who I was born in Taiwan and migrated to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, which is an island in the Caribbean, when I was about 7 years old, and then lived there for a few years, and then I came and then migrated to United States, specifically in Long Island, New York. So I've been living in New York for quite some time. Pretty much went through a little bit of elementary school and middle school and the high school and college and my graduate studies as well in New York State. So haven't traveled too far, but also in right now in New York State, I work at the Cornell University, which is I've been at Cornell University for about 20 plus years or so. I think I'm close to celebrating through 30. So I'm sharing my age a little bit. and currently I serve as the Associate Director of Global Community Engaged Learning Programs at the Cornell Einhorn Center for Community Engagement. So that's my professional identity and professional position coming with you. And been in the field with community engagement, community service learning for 10 plus years. And I really fell in love with the field and in love with the field that it actually brings in the two knowledge system, the university and the community. And I am generalizing it, even though that I know that there are multiple dimensions in each one of them, but I'm bringing them together. And how then can I facilitate and convene this so that we can really solve the most complex global issues that we are facing today, like climate change, sustainability, and hunger, poverty, and so forth. And personally, I have 3 amazing children that I love them dearly. Currently, they're cursing at me because I have COVID. 2 of them cannot go anywhere, and they are in quarantine with me, along with my amazing husband, who is here as well. And so that's just a little bit about me. And so, so that's just how I come to you, to this space. And how did I come to Cebu? How I come, and I know some of you probably already know. And so actually I was through the my work at Cornell, we, by happenstance, which is a long story, so maybe another time to share, we have come to know and work together with Dr. Tari Zaman, who was then back at UNIMAS, University of Malaysia in Sarawak. And we formed between the 2 institutions, Cornell and UNIMAS, formed a collaboration through this program called Global Citizenship and Sustainability, where we were able to bring UNIMAS students and Cornell University students to engage with Lon Lamai community for several years around researching and working together around this notion of cultural resilience and resilience around climate change and around sustainability. And then through that partnership, we came to know youth, well, back then was the UCTS. and then UTS, and I was introduced to Professor Gary Lowe, and then and also with Professor Daniel Tang, and also through the collaboration with Dr. Theresa Mont, we continue to work and expanded to come to ECTS and UTS. And that's how I came about to that connection to UTS and coming to Cebu. And so, Daniel, I think for 2 years, we actually, before COVID, we actually had two cohorts, UTS students with Cornell students working together in Bawasan and Machan.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Do you want to share a little bit about how our collaboration come together?
Okay. So the whole thing came when me and Gary went over to Unimas, and then they are trying to expand their operation into to look into several areas in Cebu. So at the same time, we have already engaged we have some engagement with Bawa Asan, especially at that time we are doing actually the broadband over power line project, which is to provide internet access through a power line to the longhouse. So we have also, and then I think the whole thing is that they wanted to look at this tele center, what they call it center, or over here what we call the Pusat Internet. So then we actually have two sites here. One is in Bawang Asan, which is now defunctional, but we have another site which is in Machan. So that is how we actually get to know about each other, and then we are bringing them in for them to expose to the local communities. And along the way, we also learn how to conduct service learnings, and then how to actually engage with the communities. So I think the year is on 2019 and 2019 and 2018 and 2019, or 2019 and 2000, just before COVID started. I think COVID started at 2020.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, 2020. So it's on 2018 and 2019. So that's where Amy came, and then we get to know each other, and then we take on the journey of community engagement and community service learning.
Great. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, so it has been uh, uh, so this is kind of our story of how stories of how I come to be and come to join you, and how we've been working collaboratively with UTS and also along with UNIMAS through the exchange of knowledge, and then through collaboration, particularly with the indigenous communities. So I think at this point, I think I have shared that with you all. And so I wonder if we could go ahead. I see that some new folks have joining in us. So now I have shared a little bit about myself, and share and also sharing how I come to involved with Cebu. So I now would like you to each of you to share your story, and so if you can state your name and share a story of your most memorable learning and or teaching experience that you had with us. So it's a way for us to get to know one another. So it is a story time. So for us to sort of hopefully a little icebreaker, so to get us start talking with one another. So Daniel, if you can stop sharing the screen, so we can then see everyone.
All right.
All right, yay! So
Mhm.
if you can, if you don't mind, when you share your story, if you can show your video, that will be really appreciated. So we kind of know who you are and start putting face to the name as well. So, hey, I don't know if it's possible to ask who would like to volunteer to go first, or should we go ahead and call people? Uh, Maybe we should ask Daniel to go first, and
Okay.
then we can go around the screen as it appears on my screen. How's that?
All right, sure. No issue with that. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Daniel. Okay. Now I'm a lecturer over here at UTS. All right. And I think just now I've shared with you some of the stories how I actually came to know Amy and go into this service learning journey. But at that time, it's not really. I wasn't involved in the whole thing. It's only to bring them around. So mainly to facilitate on the journey. But so now, as you know, we before we actually went into this Sulam thing. Sulam team came later. Okay, because the public the IPTA public university, they have to do it. So we are actually at that time we are helping Unimas, and then we are trying to measure on our own how service learning can actually help. But it actually came these few years that because it's actually in Malaysia blueprint that we need to do this Sulam thing. But luckily we got a head start. All right. Okay. Now based on learning, because learning is something that is quite personal for me. Okay, and then it doesn't really came as most of the things that I was involved right now doesn't really came as planned. Okay, service learning was, I mean, it was here for some time, but then I only get to know it a few years later, after 3 or 4 years. Okay, and then it was actually exposed to me. So when Amy was here, I don't think I get most of the chance to actually experience the whole thing of it, other than the community part. Okay, it also happens with my current engagement with the center as well, because I'm now actually in the Drone Research and Application Center. I was exposed to that center for about 5 years. Only recently that I was actually taking up the interest to go into this drone technology and how to use, how to actually apply it, and then now gradually involving in the regulations in Sarawak of the drone. Okay, so I would say that yeah, something exposure is a must. Okay, we can expose you to a lot of things, and then it's up to you to actually to absorb it, and then try to take it slowly, and then you will learn to like it. All right. Okay, so I think that's from me, and then anyone else who would like to talk about themselves?
Thank you, Daniel, for sharing that, like the first experience. And yes, Daniel drove us to Bawa Asan and Machang quite frequently. And so got a chance to get to know him and really try to convince him like this is a good thing, this is a good pedagogy. But if I may ask, since I'm gonna go ahead just for the time's sake, to just call people to ask them to share a little bit about share a story of your most memorable learning and teaching experience. So if I could ask Doreen to go ahead and start.
Sorry, I don't have very interesting story right now because I did engage students into service learning, but it was only like a semester kind of engagement project, so it was not sustainable at all. And perhaps that's one of the reasons I came to join this conference, hoping that from now on we can do something more sustainable.
Yeah, sustainability, particularly with community partners, is really important and critical in this in that work. So thank you, Dory, for sharing. So if I could ask Etta, is that correct?
Um,
If you can share just your memorable experience when it comes to learning and teaching. It doesn't have to be related to service learning directly.
okay. Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone, and Amy and Daniel. I think I sort of like recall Daniel face now. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I know him, yeah, and the other my colleague. My memorable occasion of teaching is more like trying to impart whatever that I can, what I've learned, and to learn as much as I can from the students too. And also the passion to get the student to be stirred up to, to continue to do their work, especially for social work project in the previous, when the name was called social work project, but now it's called community service project. So I think that is so much about memorable, just to be passionate and to really have that the zeal to to be stirred up to get things going and to be carried out. I think that's all from me at the moment because I came in late actually. Thank you. Love to hear from all of you.
Great. Thank you so much, Etta, for sharing that. I think that a part of it, it's that passion. You want to keep stoking that fire with them, right? And it's like, we need more of you to be like that because they're the right more generation. And that emotional learning is incredibly important when it comes to this. So thank you for sharing. Yeah. So Josephine, can you go next?
Hi everyone. So actually this is a very new turn to me. So far our students when they involved, I think apart from the internship that is related to their program, there will be one subject is about community service. Okay, but I'm not in charge actually. So that's why I come to this, I join this, and I want to learn something from here. Yeah, that's basically from me. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing, Josephine. I think we're all going to be learning together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so unpacking that. And the next on the street, it's Cole Yu. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. If you can um, teach me how to say that correctly, I appreciate it.
Oh, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, just exactly the same for you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Pohyew. Just call me for you. For my part, I'm new to lecture. Okay, I just came back from overseas. I'm working as a civil engineer. Yeah, and then about a year passed. Before that, I joined this KLT. Yeah, so for me, service learning is something that when it's like you participate into it, and then at the same time you learn the things from it. Yeah, it turns out it becomes your own experience as well. And of course, this is a new term to me as well. So I'm here to learn new stuff. Actually, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing. And so, and then next we have Helena.
Hello, afternoon. My name is Helena. Okay, same goes for the others also. I'm still new in the term of community service, so this is also my first time to join this event, also this type of event. So maybe I can learn something from it because where we are the lecturer, we are the teacher also that open to the new idea, new things. So maybe it could benefit to me and also us. Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Next we have Kairunisa.
Yes, hi.
Could you share a story of your most memorable learning and or teaching experience?
I think she was off.
Okay. All right. And let's see. So Daniel,
Yes.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. Yeah, I somehow can't see the.
Now?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Oh, sorry. So just now my microphone has changed suddenly. So my most memorable experience with teaching and learning is that last time when I was working in a college in Kuching, I became the acting as the accompanying lecturer lah, to go to an orphanage house in Kuching for children. So it's called Peryatim, Rumah Anak Yatim Laila type. And we went there. Actually, the student is, I think it's a psychology kinds of students taking psychology program. And their work was, I was not the one who is planning the event, but I only accompanied them, and the students were asked to help the orphanage there to clean up the space and also play some games with the children there. So I think that maybe those kinds of experience give a lot of new experience to the students uh, that go to that place lah. So it's kind of a bit different from a normal classroom session lah. That's all from me.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Next we have New Pink. So once again, if you can teach me how to say it properly.
Hi, can just call me Boon. Yeah, because actually Boon is my surname, easier to call my names. Yoping actually is my given name. So can just call me Boon. So the story that I'm most memorable or learning or teaching experience, I think is because my background is social work backgrounds. I also graduate and major in social works, social science background. So I think the most important that we have been doing in social work is the values. So we work on the values together, and we want to emphasizing on the strengths, on the resources, and just now we have mentioned sustainables. So whether we can the plans, the interventions that we have, whether we able to continuously bring impact to the communities, and whether we able to listen to the best interests of the student and also the communities. I think this is the most important thing. I think the most memorable learnings that I have when I think I still learn, okay, is we can see the result and the impacts, and then with the communities or with the student, we see the joy, we share the joy, we share the hardship together, the teamwork together. I think this is the most memorable things, that we work as a teamwork, which a good teamwork is very important. A good teamwork, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. But yeah, to be able to see that sharing that joy, and then that at the end you have this beautiful picture that you can always remember that this is what collaboration and a successful collaboration looks like, where everyone benefits. So next we have we aim.
Hi, are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, my most memorable teaching is just past. Is actually I teaching play therapy last semester, And then before end for the semester, I bring my students to going out to Batong. And actually, we want to because this is short sem, so courses that the experience part I mix together, and then we have a holiday for staying outside one night. Actually, for this group of students, they did not experience this type going out together. And the most memorable thing is actually is when we are coming back because I'm driving together and going out together with them. When we are coming back, actually one of the students is very open and talking about their weaknesses parts. This is actually the things that I'm very surprised when we go through these seasons and then we are sharing deeply together. Then they really say some things that is actually this students um, is very weak among them. Then courses that last semester, they feels that the students is aware that the group members that they don't know they don't want she in their group. But lastly, end of the semester, they found that actually the students have her own needs and weaknesses, and then they can ever to work together in futures. So this is the things that I really feels that sometimes when we spend time with students and then to let them to know that everyone have their own weaknesses and strengths, and how can we be working together even though some of them are very they are very good in their academic, but some of them actually are very creative. So this is the process that when I go through with them to open their hearts to sharing about their 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 experience, and also their what is actually they really open their heart to sharing about their weaknesses. Actually, this is what the things that I feel that if we open our hearts to sharing our weaknesses to others, it actually can be helping us to ever to support each others. So this is the most memorable. I've been telling them, although this semester is very packed for them, and even though both of us, I'm lecturing them, I'm very stressed, and they're also very stressed. It's because the assignment is not easy. But when we working through on it, we find that it's not talking about assignment only. It's about the life changing. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Wei, for sharing that beautiful story and in terms of how the changes and how the team come together. And so thank you for sharing. Next, Mohammed.
Hello. Yeah, good
Hello.
afternoon, everyone. Alright, my name is Sushan. Okay, call me Sushan lah. Okay, for my memorable about the service learning is I think I involved with Loki Hospital Museum last year. Right, I teach digital photography for last year, and I asked students to collect all the information about the museum, and then we need to publish, and also we create our own poster to promote the Lucky Hospital. And then for now, I'm work with Mr. Vanden as a research assistant at a Fuchao Gallery. Okay, I think that's all lah. This is because this is my first experience lah, and I joined this service learning. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Khadija?
What? Pardon?
Oh, thank you for sharing. And so next we have Khadija.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Madam Amy Ko. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Khatijah binti Hanafi, and can call me Khatijah. Okay, actually, Sulam or service learning is first time I heard about this term actually. Okay, after I assign under Sulam, then what is that? I try to search lah. Okay, and every public university already implement this Sulam. Then I know a little bit about this one because this is my first time. And actually, I am industrial design lecturer. Okay, which is this program is actually more about user experience lah. Okay, maybe my program is more about community engagement lah actually, but how far this Sulam means by it depend on this workshop lah, maybe more than what I know right now. Okay, that's all lah from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcella or Marcella?
Both correct.
Which one would you prefer?
Mars. You can call me Mar.
Mar.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So, where should I begin? Share a story of your most memorable learning or teaching experience. So, actually, interestingly, I start my first venture. This is my first time as educator during this pandemic. So everything is new because of the virtual class, and even more challenging when it comes to community engagement. So when I joined UTS, I'm from University of Technology Sarawak, same with Daniela, we are in the same department. So when I joined UTS, then my second week I joined this UTS. Then my dean introduced me to this new this community Agape Center. So this Agape is where is a Cebu Community Service Association where it caters different provides intervention and rehabilitation for children with special needs. So trying to find some project because what I was appointed to teach multimedia technology course. And interestingly, I teach for computer science students and business students. So I need to find common ground between these two different programs as well. So quite challenging in the first starting my journey in teaching. So everything is quite new. Everything community engagement also new. So luckily enough, I managed to do this project. We come up with a poster helping because what we have gathered through the requirement from the Agape Center, the community, so far their brochure and video, they are still lacking in that side. So luckily my course is more towards multimedia technology. So we produce brochure and video for them. And I bring my students, since it's during the movement control order, the pandemic, so I only managed to bring up the leader of each of the group, go there, introduce them to the people in Agape. And from there, they shot few scenes and come up with a good satisfiable products lah, can say. It's not perfect, but it's good enough because of due to all this limitation, right? So that's a little bit some of the things that we feel a little bit regret, me and my student as well. They did share me about like how I wish they're able to like meet all the children, because during that time the children also not present in the center only the teacher, only the trainer are present. So yeah, that's memorable. I can say memorable experience from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing that. Yeah, it's like once we get to the end, we always
Yeah.
think that we can always do more. So, and how can you capture that? What a way the institution can continue to support something like that. And so, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful story. Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
And next, can we have Ahmed? You can share a story.
Hi everyone. I'm Steve. Yes, my name is Ahmad Lutfi. I'm basically I'm a new in this service learning, but I think the most memorable experience about service learning that I believe it involves in my studies is when I bring my student to this project we call Lockingham Museum, where the students have been assigned to study and to do some research for what the Lockingham needed in terms of product list. So as a industrial design lecturer, we produce a design. The assignment was to produce a public estate furniture for the Laukin House, where how this product can enhance the image of the existing building itself. So I think that is the first experience my community engagement teaching in the field. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed, for sharing. And next, we have Angela.
Hi everyone, I'm Angela from College Lala Thai. For this service community, for me, same as my other college, is Newton for me. So I don't have an interesting story to share. So hopefully from this conference, I can get something new from here. That's all from me.
Great, thank you, Angela. And next we have London.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Landon, and actually, I have one research grant with Dr. Tarek and Mr. Sufyan. So it's about Fu Chao Gallery. Then I implement service learning to my subject. So that is about 3D modeling. So I asked for the final project, I asked my student to create a 3D model for the artifact. All right. So, and then unfortunately, that time pandemic season, right? And we implement the movement control order. So that is the hard time to teaching and learning process. Then I assign one student to take the photo, went to that gallery to take to a few photos of the artifact. Then they upload all the images in Google Drive. Then I give that photo to all students. So that is the final project for them. And then I'm very happy because my student can do it very well. Even that is very hard time, and how I want to teach, because that is the practical class, not theory class. We need to actually that class we need to face to face. But I am very proud with my student. They can do it very well. So, and then I think then we discussed with I discussed with Dr. Tarek how we develop that 3D artifact. Then we decide to create a game, interactive game for Fuchao Gallery. So, and then I would like to invite you all tomorrow, come to our exhibition. So we will exhibit the 3D interactive game about 3D artifact in our Fuchao Gallery. So please come tomorrow. That's all.
Great, thank you, Brandon, for the invitation. And actually, I was looking forward to visit Fuchao Gallery myself, using the mural as one of the workshops on Friday. So, but hopefully, maybe next time. But Lizette can do it, so that would be good. So thank you, Brandon, for sharing that process of engaging your students on the project. Yeah. So I think that's everyone, right, Daniel?
Yeah. Did Wei Ying already talk? Have you actually shared your story?
Already.
Already. Okay. Yeah. I think that's all.
Okay, great. Thank you all for sharing. And then I think that you all of you kind of mentioned that this is new, the service learning, and so actually it's always will feel like new, actually, personally for me as well. So and because you just never expect it, especially you have a new community partners, or even if you have a new engagement project or even a new course, and most importantly, you're always going to have a new group of students engaging with you. And some of you, I noted that talks about the important, the memorable experience where students come together as a team and that actually get to know each other. And also, I love the fact that you mentioned about passion and how that is so incredibly important when it comes to this type of work. And Benton talks about how proud he is with the students that created this amazing project and amazing output for the community. And so a lot of question is that what are students are learning? How are they processing? And we talks about how the students process through that driving back from the site, and how students are learning through their team, with their peer, with you, with the community, and also not to mention about you yourself. How are you engaged to be so thrilled to be part of this sort of a new way of it's not a new way, actually. Let me qualify that. It's just an opportunity for us to engage theories, classrooms, and practical experience, and with real world experience, so that you can show the student how this is so important, and so how applicable what they're learning in classroom is really impacting the real world, and it could actually benefit the greater good and for the society and for the kids, the children that some of you mentioned that you have come to know. So thank you all for sharing those memorable learning and memorable teaching experience. To really appreciate you starting to opening up and sharing this with each other. So moving on, now that with the stories, I hope that we'll get a chance to hear more of your story, or somehow it trigger you more stories that you want to tell with one another. And so now we wanted to hear more from you. We have created this this Jamboard, and so if we would like you to kind of start with us, we want to learn from you a sense of what you think is what teaching and learning is. So if you can use the, Daniel, can you put the link on the chat so that people can access the Jamboard?
Sure.
And I think most of you are familiar with Jamboard. That we will ask you that if you can help us create this collage. It's almost like pretending we are in person, that we have give you a bunch of Post-it notes. And then if you can just share share multiple things of what you think what teaching and learning is, what does that mean to you? And so feel free to just go. I don't know, am I allowed to say, I guess in the US when I'm with the students, I say, go wild, go crazy. And just whatever you think it is around what is teaching and learning. And then if you can use one post-it, one sticky notes each for each thought, that would be really appreciated. So we will give you just 5 minutes to do the first Jamboard. If you can share what is teaching and learning. Continuous, lifelong, yes. Does everyone have access to the Jamboard? Mm-hmm. Daniel, maybe instead of sharing the slides, can you share the Jamboard instead?
All right.
So we can start seeing live actions happening as people populate. I see someone put KSA, the knowledge, skill, attitude. That's fantastic. I was wondering if you can elaborate a little bit more on that. In terms of it relates to knowledge, it relates to skills, and relates to attitude. Attitude with behaviors and all that. Mm. Mm. Mhm. Wow, this is just amazing wealth of knowledge right here. Okay. About just one more minute to see if the people still populating. Mm. Okay. Wow. This is Thank you all for sharing, but please feel free to continue to populate. But in the just so really quickly, just want to take 2 minutes for all of us to take a look at what's on the Jamboard, and if you can share what comes out to you or what jumps out at you. Take a look at what everyone has shared around teaching and learning. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Someone had put here teaching and learning is about putting ourselves in other people's shoes. I was wondering if someone can who put it out there would mind sharing a little bit more.
I put it on because I was reflecting on the, Dr. Lee's was sharing about her experience in Penang. Sometimes
Mhm.
we may be thinking like, in the Penang community, we probably think that, oh, this is good for them. But sometimes we have to put ourselves, in other people's shoe, whether, is this really applicable? Do they really need this thing?
Mhm.
I was reflecting what Dr. Lee's was
Mhm.
sharing this morning, so I put that
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate that. Sometimes we think what we think that they should learn or what they should have, but rather is this really applicable to them? Is this really helpful? So thank you for that. Anything jumps out to anyone at all? All right. In that case, then we're gonna move on to the. We'll come back to them because all of this is going to help help all of us to think about what would be a good next step. So that's we're gonna move to the next Jamboard, which is now it's asking you to share with us and with everyone what is community service. Oh, it looks like some of you have already got started. That's fantastic. So what is community service? Mm-hmm. What might community service means to students? Mm-hmm. I noticed someone put down more give than take. So how do you know that you take more than you're taking? How do you assess that? How do you evaluate that? Mm. Mm. It looks like we have a Latin terminal, esprit de corps. Mm. Mhm. Looks like from this list, we already have some of the what is community service, but then also how to go about doing community service. Right. So now we're gonna go to the next, but continue to as popular as well. But now it's to it's we're gonna given the time. I didn't realize time has flown by so quickly. We do want to get to a few other the Jamboard to get your thoughts. So, but continue to populate of the different frames. So the next one, as you can probably imagine, is that asking you how do you connect the two. So Daniel, do you mind going to the next? So on the next Jamboard, on number 3, we would like to hear from now that you have talked about teaching and learning. What does that mean to you? How would you connect that with community service or vice versa? So what are some of your thoughts? I think a lot of you already hinted on the teaching and learning and also community service. And so just this board to ask you to sort of put some more thoughts together on this one. how might you connect these two areas so that they're interconnected? I think somebody says that it's community service, it's interdependent. Community service learning is interdependence. It's not one or the other. It's that you can also do service while learning and vice versa. Two-way communication. Yes, making sure that it's constantly open. Expose students to real-world problems. In-depth conversation. Yeah. And I think that's come with that reflection of the importance of reflecting on the experience and also reflecting on the teaching and the learning and the project and the process. Designing, co-develop the assignments with community partners. So how can you build an in-depth conversation with the project? They have to go hand in hand, right? Maybe, maybe not. Yes. Yeah, the community service project has to be a right fit with the course objectives and the learning outcomes. Yes, share the expertise to the community. Yes, students and faculty bring in certain expertise. How might the other way? How does a community share their expertise with students and faculty? Oh, this is a very this is a really great one. Teaching, learning, equal community service. Not to pick on somebody, can you say a little bit more about that? So I guess we'll just pause right here and have everyone to take a look what's already on the Jamboard to see questions that people might have for each other. All right, so if that's the case then, let's move on to the next one. Why is this community service learning relevant to your teaching, relevant to your students, or relevant to your research? Or even relevant to communities that that you might have sought out to partner or have come to you to partner with your course? Yeah. Mm. Mm. Wow, this Jamboard, I can feel the passion and the excitement about why this potential pedagogy could actually benefiting students to become critical thinker and be more civically responsible, and then to be able to put their skills and knowledge and attitude into practice that benefits everyone. So, wow, it's incredible. Yeah, and understanding the community need rather than I think I know what you need. So shifting that mindset is really important, and that partnership a collaboration that benefits both parties. And so this way that they can gain soft skills, all kinds of skills, professionally and personally, after they graduate, so that they can better continue to benefit the society. So very high aspirations for all the students and ourselves. The needs need to be seen policyholders, yes. Especially some of the challenging social issues. As you probably all know, I mean, the cliche that we always use, that these are the future leaders and future policymakers or future entrepreneurs, future engineers, and everything that future social workers, teachers, educators. So what you know, engaging them what the next generation would like to be. I kind of don't want to leave this frame. It's incredibly amazing, but I do have to move on to the next frame. But please, continuing on this conversation, this thread of thinking. Oh, thank you. Make them smile always. And having fun and putting smiles so that why don't we want to all to be happy? And so thank you for putting that up. So our next one is, what are some of the indicators of success? How would you know that you're successful in your community service learning and teaching? And how would you like to evaluate when people? So what are some of your thoughts? There's no right or wrong answers. I think some of you mentioned about the product, the output. So community members who are happy about it. So that's a good indicator, right? Yes, student leaving positive comments. Yes, that is totally relevant. And this is a great class. I love my teacher. They're happy and smiling. Or they want to become your TA or your course assistant. Or they want to continue to do projects. And then also, how would you evaluate with community partners? Just analyze the student's reflection. Mm-hmm. Someone would put in the positive results. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that positive result? And when somebody put the sticky that says "Stay happy," it should assume students or community partners or yourself or the administrators, your university, or is it everyone is happy? If you can elaborate a little bit on that. They're all happy. Okay. Thank you. And the useful products, can you elaborate a little bit more on that sticky? Is it useful for community partners or students or the faculty? Oh, the project runs by itself, yes. Useful products for community, thank you for that. community's feedback. And someone mentioned on the sticky said there's some outcomes. Is that referring to learning outcomes or the project outcome or the course outcome? And the sticky that says continuous, although we left the community, I was wondering if you can clarify that or elaborate a little bit more. That does that mean the project continues while the community are not part of it, and the students just continue, or the faculty continue to work on the project? Aha. Continue. The community wants to continue to work with you. They invite you back. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Great. Great. Students ask to go again. I assume when students ask to go again, we need to visit the community sites or community partners. Thank you for that clarification on continuous. Yes, yes, yes. You don't want to create the sense of dependency that for the community, that you wanted them to, that this is, we're just getting you started and then you can continue on your own without the students. Oh, student gets A's. Yes, get the grading out of the way so they can really focus on the project and the experience. Yes. All right. This is amazing. Yes. So I don't know why you all said that you don't know what community service learning is. Like, you do know. So this is incredible. So can you share your on the next Jamboard, we can move on to the number 6. If you can talk a little bit, now it's coming to you. What are your own personal professional outcomes that you would like to gain by engaging in a community service learning experience? Because we all know it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It's not I would say it's not your typical traditional way of teaching, because it requires a little bit more planning and conversation and really spending the time with the students and community partners. So like thinking about what do you gain, that it's also important to come back to your own motivations and when the why do you want to do this? And then so I don't know if this professionally, does it count toward your KPI or it count toward certain, I know with some of the faculty members at Cornell, we have a sense of a way that we had to get work toward getting our tenure. And so community service, community engagement is considered one of them, but it's not the only one. There's also research and publications and especially for us in research and publication, are sort of the number one indicator for being considered for tenure. So I don't know if that's relevant to you all or not. Right, so upskilling in different aspects. The teammates have a different in the comfort zone. Yeah. It's also putting yourself out of your comfort zone. That's, thank you for putting that out there. It is out of our comfort zone. Every time I go, I mean, definitely recently, working in Vietnam was my first time. That was very out of my comfort zone. When I was, and also I don't speak the language, but we were engaging with an amazing non-governmental agency in developing intervention strategy against adverse childhood experience. So that was definitely out of my comfort zone, but it was rewarding, and then rewarding, extremely rewarding, but also at the same time, a lot of learning to be done on that end. And for me personally, I really gain a new knowledge and just keep learning on how people talk about community engagement and how they work to make a difference. Yes, yeah, the sense of satisfaction is really important. It's motivating to feel like you can actually contribute to something positive. It's just like the joy to share them, to be making a difference. Challenging my own self. Yeah, I hope that all of you will also share this with your own students about your motivation and motivation in wanting to do this work. Because I think that humanize that connections between a teacher and the students, and to have that comfortability that we are all in this together. I know we all been hearing this phrase, a cliche, we are all in this together, but it is really true that we are all working together to tackle some of the really challenging social problems. All right, so with this, I'm going to move on to the next one, which is really what we would like to see, given what we all just have done, sharing your teaching and learning and community service and your own indicators of success, and also your own motivation of wanting to do this work, and then looking for your why, the sense of why you're doing this work, and then how you will go about doing it. So what can we do to support you in getting this ready? So I truly believe from just what you all have shared that you really know this already, how you want to do this. So what can we do to support or affirm what you already know? And what are some of the topics for the next several weeks or throughout the semester that we can do to support you? What are some of the what? So if you can is it about how to really engage students in this reflections, how to go deep into their learning? Or is it evaluation and assessment about community impact, more students learning, or your own personal learning? And with there particular research questions that you're seeking on how to make this experience become a public research topic? I'm just throwing out there, hopefully that will help sort of instigate or trigger some thoughts on what you would like to see. Or it could be that after this conversation, this jam board activities, I feel really good. I'm all good. That's fine as well. Mm. So may I ask this sticky note about how to work with disadvantaged families and children? I should make this bigger for myself. Is it about how to train students on how to work with disadvantaged and marginalized communities?
Yes, yes. It's referring to, like how to work with, because we see children from having some problems, and we find out that they are from disadvantaged families. So how to go about,
Mm.
working. Sometimes it's difficult because children are from this kind of family, so it's very hard for us to actually work with the family.
Yes, 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 yeah. Yes, great. Thank you for clarifying that. That's really helpful. Actually, and that's actually something that my student and I were actually reflecting on. And I was reflecting, like, did we train them? Did we get them ready to work with marginalized communities, especially family where coming from coming from poverty or from the abuse background and neglect. So it's very challenging. Thank you for raising that. Example assessment, yes. Yep. How to start doing this? Okay. Yes. So on the sticky note, can you clarify a little bit on the ways to justify the outcome of the projects? Is that a justification with the community or with the institution? I mean, institution meaning your university or with the students? All of them. How to approach the community. I see a lot of community. What about students? How to step-by-step examples. Okay. All right, we have, let's see, different ways to do reflection. Yes. Yeah. What are different modalities for reflection? How to motivate the staffs? Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. Wow, this is a fantastic, a lot of great ideas, a lot of great topics. So now it's, I guess we will have to figure what's next then, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, so please continue to work, please continue to populate. This is not the end of it. I see that it's 1:56. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But please continue to do so, populate, and then please keep this, these Jamboard, and then we can continue to make it available, so that we have this collective wisdom around community service learning. So our last one is really checking with all of you that we are thinking around these timelines and want to get some of your thoughts around that. I know the semester doesn't start for you all until the end of September, right, Daniel? Right?
Yes, that's the case for UTS, but I'm
Yeah.
not too sure about the MPI and this KLT.
MPI, we still have class going until the end, not early of November. So we have our semester break or starting on the mid of November until next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wonder, Daniel, if maybe we, I know we create this Jamboard. I'm not sure if we're gonna have you populate, but we kind of sort of put some sort of structure there. But I'm not sure it makes sense given the topics that many of you have posted here. Kind of want to. What are some of your suggestions on how to go best to continue with this? Should we try to put a lot of these topics that I see here, like around assessments, around different modality of reflection, and also how to approach community, how to develop with the projects with communities, and how to do, what are some of the examples in creating a community service learning syllabi or projects together? Should we try to all compress it in September, or September and early October?
Yeah, then that will be fine. And it on early September.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep the Jamboard open for the time being, and then at the end of August, I think me and Amy can actually meet up, and then we will come up with the series layout, and then we'll let you guys know how it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Daniel, maybe what we can do is stop sharing. Is that okay? Screen sharing?
Yep, yep. Which screen do you want me to share? Your
No, just no more screens.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I want to just thank you all for sharing your thoughts and your experience with around teaching and learning and community service. And so this is not the end of the conversation. I hope not. That we can continue to discuss and learn with one another. So in the meantime, what as Daniel have said, we will digest what has been shared with us here and on some other topic. And assessment and evaluation is something that I'm in actually really really interested in. So I look forward to have the opportunity to learn with you. I mean, there's so many assessment evaluation tools out there, but question is what's the right one, right? And what is the right one? What is it that makes sense for your class and what makes sense for your students and what makes sense for your, especially the partnership that you want to sustain over time. And so, so there are different ways of thinking around that. And also in terms of how to enter into a community, how to conduct research together with indigenous communities. That is something that have experience working with through the invitation from the Panams and then also the invitation from the Ibans. So how do we think about invitations? And how do we get invited to do that authentically and genuinely? Because you don't want to do a project just for the sake of doing projects, because a lot of you said that you want it to be meaningful. And so how do we get there? So I think that some of these questions and topics that you have raised are extremely important, and particularly in this field of community service learning, community engaged learning. Community engagement. So we will, if it's okay with you, we'll digest, unless people would like to stay on, but it's been 2 hours and would like to talk more, happy to do so. But maybe what we can do is get back with you with a proposal and then take it from there. Does that sound all right for you? Or maybe I'm going to change the tactic a little bit based on the story circle in order to end this well. So please give me just 5 more minutes to end this. If I may just get your quick reflections. I'll be calling each of you to, if you can share your quick reflection about the session today, and then your thoughts about how to go forward next. Okay, so if I can ask Boon, if you can kick us off with your quick reflection about the session, and what do you think or suggest, or what comes to your mind on what's the best thing to go forward for you?
Thank you. Actually, what come into my mind actually is I believe everyone's after this. I see everyone are very passionate. Everyone are very passionate. I think it's a very good start. We can. I would like to take this opportunity. We can even partnership together. We can partnership together with UTS and with KLTs and with all the institutes to work on the target community together. So we can share resources together and share expertise together. I think this is a very, very good part which we can work together, collaborate together. So this is my idea when I listen. when looking at all these posting, I was thinking, I think we can work together in partnerships, because I believe everyone have resources and networkings. So why don't we just compile and share these resources, as we have the aims of benefiting the communities, working for the community, and we are working in the same goals which we want to empowers the society, bring benefits to the society. In the same times, as lecturers, as students, we can learn something from each others. Yeah, this is my idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Boon. That's very so it's a fantastic idea. But so thank you, Doreen.
I actually, I find that what Boon said is very true, that we have to collaborate in some sense, especially all the higher learning institutions. I think I would like to see some videos, like some examples of very successful, I would say, service learning projects from maybe your university, and so that because of some of the constraints that we are having, like it is held only 14 weeks per semester, we do find this a constraint, especially in our school semester system. So probably we would like to see how all these projects can turn into something more sustainable. Does it have to be sometimes we just cannot figure out how to go about it. Maybe we need to see some successful examples.
Okay, great. Thank you, Doreen. How about Karonisa?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. So for me, this workshop it clears up a lot about several of the questions that I have about service learning, because sometimes there are questions that I think that when I ask people, I also don't understand what's the explanation. So maybe some of the questions that have been asked through Jamboard, through others' answers, so I can understand that, no, I am sure that what I understand is correct. I think that's all from me. Thank you a lot for your delivery today.
Do you have thoughts, ideas, suggestion on how to move forward to the next step?
Maybe I think in the future I would like to, like what I have suggested in the Jamboard, I would like to know more about the examples of service learning project that people have done in the community, various types of community, so that we can get a more clear idea of what can be done. So for in the future, maybe we can propose our own easier if we see lots of examples from previous works.
Okay, great.
That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Brendan, could I ask you to go next? Okay, maybe we'll come back to him. Ahmed?
Maybe I think the list of the project of involve this social community project, Silam project. So maybe it would be help in coming education or semester teaching, so that we can associate it with the subject, our subject to be teach. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you. Marcella Omar?
Hello.
Yes, so far I enjoyed the session and I gain better understanding from the Jamboard that we do earlier. So perhaps for the next session, I'm looking forward to learn more in depth, especially how the students do their reflections. Because so far what I did is more towards like community service, but without the learning part. So I want to know more about the learning part. And
Yes.
then another one I think is one of the in the Jamboard also mentioned about restructuring the syllabus to into the community-based community service learning, right? So I also like I want to know more about that one. For me. That's all for me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Next we have Khadija.
Okay, after this workshop, I get something from brainstorming session actually. Okay, thank you for that. In future, maybe, not maybe lah, I hope that I have some clear direction. What is Sulam about? For example, structure like syllabus, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. Mohammed? Okay, so we'll come back. Ho, you? Maybe we'll come back to that. How about Josephine?
Oh, hi. Yeah, actually, yeah, the Jamboard is very good. Okay. I actually want to really know sharing from others, like how they actually come out with this community service learning, because it's pretty new for me. I'm just wondering how quantity surveying department students can involve in the community service learning, or the engineering departments also. So that is what I am hoping that I can learn or get ideas from. Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I remember you talk about how to bring students from different disciplines together and how they, yes. I have, trust me on that one. We usually work in a multidiscipline way when it comes to community service learning. Yep.
All right.
So, yes, yes. Thank you, Josephine. Etta, can you go next? Okay, maybe I'll come back to Etta as well. How about Helena?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm pretty sure that everyone is already covering everything that I want to say. So thank you also for the clear delivery for today. Like more give more understanding about the community service this thing. It's a great idea that for the like I think Doreen or who said about the partnership things like that to do this activity. That's all.
Great. Thank you, Helena. Now I can go back to Etta. Would you like
All
to
right,
share a little?
thank you. Yeah, I'll just use the word TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. So hopefully, together we are stronger in doing it together. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Angela?
Hi, it's a good sharing today. I think we need to have more research on this service learning so that we can know how to do next. That's all for me.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you, Angela, and thank you, everyone, for sharing about your experience for today and the learning from today, and also ideas about or suggestions on how to moving forward. Let me turn it back to Daniel if you want to help wrap it up, and then we'll end the session.
Okay, I'm muted. Okay, so thank you everybody for taking the interest to actually try to venture into this Sulam thing. We can't claim that we know a lot. We are still learning, all right? And then now, just to wrap it up, okay, whatever that we have written, we will, me and Amy will actually sit down and then we'll go through it, and then we'll try to come up with a proper series. And then all the announcements will be made in this Google Classrooms. Okay, the tentative timetable, and then I think all the series I think will be conducted through online unless we actually we can actually get Amy into in Cebu. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you opening the space, having me today. And I wish you all a very great afternoon.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.